economic warriors from around the world. It's so good to be here with you again today. Can I just say what a fabulous feeling it is like to actually have a producer like Chris? He's just like, oh my goodness. If you have a YouTube channel, like, you need a Chris. Like, I don't even know what you're doing without Chris. Like, if you have a business, you need a Chris. Like, literally, it was like in the beginning, we used to struggle to get into these lives, like, so much, because it's like, are we live? Are we live? And then we're like sitting, are we live?
We could actually have an entire show based on us asking questions on whether we're live or not.
And then today, Chris is like, 5, 4. And I'm like, hi! Thank you, Chris. You're amazing. Anyway, you're watching the Coffee Shop Conversation Show for Entrepreneurs. I am Nastine.
And that would make me Peter.
We're the co-founders of Explore Protech Entrepreneurial Haven, a haven dedicated to helping uplift and support and provide answers and connections to entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world. This show is dedicated to literally just having a chat with real entrepreneurs, real people, making it happen, doing the hustle, and getting ahead. And we've invited every single person on this show personally to come and join us this morning. So we're super excited to be chatting to you today. Remember, we're going to be talking about one entrepreneurial topic for today, that is how to prioritize tasks. Which I think is super relevant.
Wow.
Not that you have a task list, Peter, but imagine if you did.
Yeah, just imagine if I did.
If you did, how would you prioritize the tasks on that list?
By prioritizing not having to write a list.
So that's what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to pull everyone into the conversation like always. Please remember, people on the screen, once you give me your answer or your comment or your question, just end with your name, your business name, and a little snippet about what you do, so our audience can get to know you and then connect with you if they vibe with you.
Yeah, and let's keep it to exactly that, a little snippet. We want to be very mindful of everybody else, so it literally is. So I'm Peter, and I'm from Explore Protech, and we do this. Keep it to 1 or 2 sentences because we are wanting to engage more in conversation with both you guys and the audience. So, and yes, there is an audience. Hi, Mom.
Okay, guys, so I'm super excited to get into this topic. Hey, we got some amazing entrepreneurs like sharing the screen with us today. But just before we do, I just want to give you a quick update. So remember, like last week, we had like the spinning wheel and everything, and Janine won, and she was like, "Woohoo! I'm so happy." Okay, so we're doing that again next week. So next week's grand prize is a case study bundle valued at just over $4,000 US.
Yeah.
So the lucky entrepreneur that wins gets a written case study written about one of their successful engagements, plus a video case study made by an Emmy Award-winning journalist from the States.
Correct.
So that is Geoff Strauss and Rafer Weigel. They were here with us on the show last week, if you remember correctly. So if you're still wondering what the whole thing about case studies is about, go and check out that show.
Go backwards.
But yeah, we're awarding that next week. So there is still time for you to get in on the running. Remember, the more points you have, the more chances you have of winning this case study bundle.
Well, if you think about it, when somebody plays the lottery, what are their chances? Like 1 in a couple of billion.
Depending on the amount of tickets you buy, I think.
Depending on the amount of tickets you buy. Well, in this space, the amount of people that are actually pushing for in the leaderboard, not as many as those that are actually pushing for. So your chances are slightly bigger of winning than the lottery.
So on that note, we just asked Chris to quickly give us a little bit of a show and tell. If you're still wondering, how on earth do I sign up for this referral program? Like, I want prizes. I know there are prizes every single 2 weeks. Like, how do I get in on this? Chris, can you just give us like a very quick show and tell so we can see how to get in on this?
And this works out well because I actually haven't done it. Naughty Chris, I've got homework to do. So why not do it live together to show you how easy it actually is. And then it's self-explanatory, and then Peter and Christine can help should there be any troubleshooting. But what you'll see in today's video's description down below, there is a link which takes you to this story, which in actual fact is a case study about the amazing virtual assistant, Somerville. Everybody needs a Somerville. So you go through, read the story, because obviously it's relevant and it's interesting content for you. And then when you get towards the bottom of the story, see, I'm scrolling, you need to join the Fempreneur freebie Facebook group, which you click on there and request to join, as well as find out more about the flagship Fempreneur course that's running. So to win and get yourself in the running, all you got to do is sign up for the referral program. So let's give this a try. Chris Colby, today, and you say sign up.
Wait, Chris, you wrote live to ream.
Oh yes, yeah, no typo there. That's fine. There we go. Sign up. So what you do is you get a unique referral link. So by referring the story, which obviously is good to share with everybody, then that's how you get your entrance into the competition to win the amazing prizes that Christine mentioned there. And as you can see, we have a leaderboard running as well. So Janine Lingenfelder, who is always right up there at the top, she's currently sitting on 15 points. So every bit of points that you get increases your chances because there's a spinning wheel. So the more points you have, so Janine's little wedge of the spinning wheel is going to be bigger than, say, Christine's or Susan's, but they're still in the running. So you want to get that wedge a little bit bigger so that your chances of winning are more and more. It's really simple as that. So all you got to do is register for that thing. You get your unique referral link code that you put into your social media posts, your YouTube, whatever your case is. And that's how we track your points and get you into the entrance. It's that simple, really.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Chris. Please post that link to the article just in the Zoom chat as well. I know it's already on Facebook and YouTube. Amazing.
And if you think about it, just as entrepreneurs, even if you jump into that space, yes, it's a referral program. Yes, you push to actually win. But if you don't win, it's not the end of the earth, because the space that you've actually registered into is actually just full of people just like you, all entrepreneurs. So this is a relationship building space. So whether you win or whether you don't, come and meet some people.
And you're still doing a world of good. So this is also something like some people are like, okay, but I would rather give like a less privileged, like a small business owner, like a chance to win, which is great, but also it's very not great. Because this whole movement is about finding all the small business owners around the world. So just by you participating in the actual program and ending up on the leaderboard,
you're part of the solution.
You're helping entrepreneurs around the world get the help that they need.
So help us help you.
So this is super valuable. Okay, so Marlena just asked where to start. Okay, so that's the link that Chris just posted. Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much for asking, Marlena. Okay, cool. So on that exciting note, let's move on from here. Guys, we're talking about how to prioritize tasks. Now, I am a very anxious task maker, task doer. I like to prioritize my tasks in terms of crises. So it's a very sophisticated system where
I'm the crisis.
Like whatever is a bigger fire at the moment gets my attention. But I'm very sure there's a better way to do this. So please, can you please put up your hands and just freaking tell us what to do, because we don't know. Chris.
Too busy pushing all the buttons in the background. But first of all, quick one. Shout out to Janine, who's streaming live on YouTube right now. Thanks for joining. And she's super excited because she gets to share Somerville's awesome story by sharing the link and entering for the competition as well. So well done, Somerville. So looking at tasks as entrepreneurs, we will always have an endless list of tasks to do. It doesn't matter whether you work 24/7, there will always still be that list of tasks that you need to do. You're not going to get to everything. So the way I prioritize them is I write down as much as I can. And then when I look at them, I go, which one's going to make me money right now? That goes to the top of the list. which one is going to bring me money in very, very shortly? That comes second. And then third, if I don't do this, is it going to cost me money? And that's how I prioritize the three of them. Then from there, you look into your future growth and expansion and scaling and things like that. But ultimately, getting that first priorities right is it bringing me money now? Will it bring me money? Or is it going to cost me something? That's it for me, Chris Colby. I am a virtual business manager and fixer.
Yay, Chris! Everybody needs a Chris.
Just don't get it wrong. Virtual business manager and fixer, not fixer, right? You're not going to pay him under the table and expect a hit.
I don't think anyone was thinking that, Peter.
No.
But thanks for clarifying.
Okay.
Chris, I love the way that you're prioritizing. I just have to say, I do that too sometimes, but then that is like why I never ever answer my WhatsApps or emails, because I've never been paid. My brain works so weird. Like, I promise you, that's one of the reasons why I never ever do my emails. And now I've figured out, like, if I never read my emails, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but at least
I have such an extreme personality.
But at least it works because you have a list.
I do have a list. Yeah. It's just that I don't do the things on the list. But okay, let's hear from someone else.
Sorry, just on my point, that's where it starts to cost you money, because those are things falling through the cracks. So that comes on priority number 3.
Oh, I get it. A little bit. You know, I'm considering whether or not I'm going to start reading emails. I might just like get Marlena to brainwash Peter so that he starts loving reading emails. That would be so cool. Marlena, let's hear from you.
I'm going to add that to my skills. Thank you. Brainwashing.
That's amazing.
So we all have priority lists and we don't always get there. And Chris is on the mark there. It depends on what's important to you, though. So if money is important to you, then absolutely that'll be your driver. But if that's not, like in my case, that may not be the case. It can have a big ticket on it, but there might be some reluctance to work with it. So it might be useful, and what I find useful is to list them, sure, but list them in the order that I enjoy doing them. And then work out what the value is for me there. And then decide which one is the most important, even though it may not be the big income bringer. Because once I'm satisfied as the entrepreneur, perhaps I can then give myself out from a perspective that I'm completely whole first, rather than I'm looking for the biggest income driver. Obviously, if you're working with stuff going on in the background, for sure, get those priorities out of the way. When you struggle, have an accountability partner, a coach to help you work out what your strategy is, because you might have the greatest idea in the world, but somehow your strategy could come loose or apart by misstepping. And it might be one little simple step. So what do? My name is Marlena. I'm from Self and More Coaching, and I help people release the blocks, identify them and release them. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Something that came to my attention, I mean, entrepreneurs are sort of flexible, right? Flexible. We have this ability to follow our noses, you know, and as things change, we change. And I think something, Marlena, that you highlighted was our priorities sometimes change, which means that our driving force can change alongside with our priorities. So because we're so flexible and we have to maneuver as entrepreneurs, that maybe one day our driving force will be money, but maybe on the turn of a dime, the driving force might actually change to something else. And I think something that you highlighted was to notice that. And I think that's really brilliant, because otherwise we define ourselves in a particular way, and then we get ourselves stuck in a way that we are not comfortable with anymore. And then we have to backtrack and then learn the process again. So I think that aspect of what you mentioned is brilliant, because and I don't think people give it enough credit, where they have to take a look at their the factor that actually drives them. And it changes. So watch out for the change, because if you are flexible enough to change with it, you're going places, which is good.
I definitely need to speak to you at some point, Marlena. I have a block against lists. I literally just realized that.
I have a list of how not to do lists.
You also have a block against lists.
Yeah.
You're joining us. But that is so helpful. I mean, like, if you're always doing something that you like want to do, like, I find it very, I don't know about you, like, I find it very difficult to do things that I don't want to do. But like, I'm very much more productive if I'm doing something that I actually want to do. So I feel like that is very, very helpful to take into account. Thank you, Marlena. Cool. Let's move on to Debbie. Debbie, I'm so keen to hear from you. What do you have to say about prioritizing tasks? You just need to unmute.
Hi. I think for me, I take a more holistic approach to my business, and I divide my business into 6 different hats or pillars, and I use that as a driving force, and I allocate a percentage of that to my default diary, and I list things into my diary. So I find that the task list becomes a little less as you progress in this journey of prioritizing things, because like Nestine said, there's things that we like to do and things that we don't like to do. So if you take more of a holistic approach, it kind of forces you to do the things that you don't like to do too. So myself, I get stuck in the things that I love to do, and then I find it difficult to move to the things I don't want to do. But somebody actually gave me a tip on that the other day and said, stop, take 3 minutes, write down where you're at with that task, so that you don't have to come back to it and, you know, sort of get yourself back aligned with it. Just take 3 minutes to write down your things where you're at, so that you can go and do the things you perhaps don't want to do, and then you can come back to it and you can start where you finished off. So I think that's how I use my my 6 hats to navigate the space.
What are the 6 hats, Debbie, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, so it's planning, branding, marketing, and sales. I put in as 1 hat. Systems and procedures, another hat. Team, being your internal team and your external team, another hat. And then finance and admin, a hat. And then your daily operations, another hat.
Debbie, that sounds like you've got lists about lists about lists.
I'm going to try that.
Not at all. I basically take on 2 major projects in a year. So I give it like 6-month projects. And then that 6 months, if you focus on those 6 months, it basically saves you time for the next 5 years, because you put it down, it's there for the next 5 years, and you only really need to revisit those systems and things maybe every 3 months, you know, for a day every 3 months. So it saves you time having to do it continuously. So for example, right now I'm doing a business plan and a systems manual in my business. I spent 6 months focused time on it. I have 3 smaller projects running alongside that. So if I'm bored with that, I can go to another project. But they're smaller projects to help the momentum, keep the momentum going. But the 6-month project is the thing that's going to save me time, you know, next year and the year after that and the year after that.
Interesting.
You know what I love about that? It's like a lot of us, I think, only focus on daily operations. And that system kind of makes you work on the business and not only in the business.
Yes. So I'm very focused on and in the business. So I actually only spend 30% of my time generating income. The rest of the time is spent on the other hats in my business. Because otherwise we forget to build and grow our business. So the idea then is to get people in who work for you, and their time is spent 100% working in your business, and you making sure that you developing your business along the way. So that's what I do, and that's what I encourage my clients to do. I'm Debbie Ann Patterson from Coach Accountant, and we translate, process, your numbers into strategic advantage. Thank you.
Debbie, if you join the tribe, you're going to be my accountability body. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to make you climb a wall or run into one, but I feel like I need that.
I've worked very hard at it, though. It hasn't come overnight.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would have to work very hard at it too, because I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Wait, what day is it today?
Oh, Peter. You see what I'm dealing with. Thank you so much, Debbie. That is so valuable. I'm learning so much. I'm going to write this hats down for sure. Izan, let's hear from you.
Good morning, everyone. Interesting that you were talking about in and on the business, because that's what I wrote down, is dividing your time and your task lists between what you need to do in the business. And that is driven not by money or by what I want to do, but by my customers and their needs. And literally what comes first. If it's a bid we're managing, when is it due? What are all the steps that have to happen before that? So the working in the business is driven by my customers' priorities. The working on the business is based on our strategic planning that we do twice a year. And then every month or every 2 months, we go back and we look at it and we go, oh, hang on, we haven't done anything about that. And not important, it can wait. Or wow, we actually have done so much on these few things. We didn't even know we were doing well on those. So it is that balance between in the business and on the business, and dividing and conquering. We can't do everything ourselves. Our lists are too long. So somebody else also said it is get people to do the things you don't want to do, or that are less expensive than you are to do those things. And then Nestine, you were talking about email. One of my colleagues taught me something called raft. You need to raft your email, which is read, action, file, or trash. So instead of sitting with an email box of a couple of hundred, or probably in Peter's case, a couple of thousand emails, you read it, you action it, you file it, or you trash it, so that you don't have anything in your inbox. I'm Izan Klutzer-Hamilton. I'm co-owner of Enfold. We are strategic proposal and pitch consultants. We provide training and software to help people win business in sales proposals.
Nice. Izan, I love your faith in me. I don't even have an email.
I deleted it. Peter refused to read it, so I deleted it.
Okay, even better.
It was
I like that.
Good work for me, but good for you.
See, now I'm Peter's live email.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like, Peter, you have an email. Would you please think about this for the next 5 minutes? And then usually Peter's like, no, I am going to procrastinate.
Press 1 to record.
Remind me in another 5 minutes.
He's just going to go to the T of the raft, not the reading, the actioning, or the filing. He's just going to go trash.
What a way to fast track the process. I feel like if I just outsource you, I will be so much more productive.
Probably.
Who wants a Peter? Going up for auction now.
Oh, actually, if you think about it, right? Every space is different. So every space is handled in a different way, and our space is based on people. And within my space, dealing with people, it is easier to deal with them when I can actually sit in front of them and I can look them in the eyes and we can have a conversation. But different spaces are built for different things. So maybe you're running a project and it doesn't require dealing with people. It requires having the information on hand when you need it. You need an email trail. You need that trail to be able to plan. I don't need that trail. So it's lucky. Correct. Oh, Hendrik wants to join the party.
Okay, Hendrik, join the party.
I'm very washed out today. I'm sorry. It's Pink Monday, and it's a great day to start new things. If they blue, I don't participate. So I just want to add one thing, and that is a lot of people, when they talk about lists and all these jobs and how do you prioritize, we talk about managing time. And I read somewhere, instead of managing your time, you should manage your energy. And, you know, if you have lots of energy first thing in the morning, that's the time that you do the most important money-making things that Chris was talking about. If you are more of a late night owl, then, you know, direct your energy that way and plan your day that way. I use my Google Calendar, and it's a truly useful tool for me to figure out what I have to do when, and then, you know, it makes it easier to plan your week ahead and manage your energy better. I know early in the morning I can get quite a bit done. By 2 o'clock my pair's 8 and I'm ready for a nap, and then by 6 o'clock I'll be ready for an hour or two again. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'm Hendrik from Bear. We do podcasting and repurpose podcasts for content marketing campaigns.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Hendrik.
So how do we manage your energy?
It's unmanageable.
Wow.
Like literally my energy is like on what? Oh yeah. Someone forced me to take off the weekend, which I don't like doing. And then I went for a walk. Okay, so that counts as not working. Like on Sunday, I went for a walk. And then when I got back from the walk,
Should ideas on how to work.
I called Chris. I was like, oh my goodness, Chris, I have like the best idea ever. And we have to do it like now. And I'm opening the group and we're going to roll it out. And how do you feel? And can you quote me? And
Wow. That was from a walk.
how do you manage energy though? Like, I don't know.
Well, actually, if you think about it, if your energy had a weight and there was a scale, and we put your energy on the scale would be like, would both of you please step off? But that would be the response.
I'm like either like up there or I'm asleep. Like I feel like that's
There's no in between. There's no escape either. Just letting you know.
The other thing, like, I'm just curious to know, do any of you have this problem? Like, I won't say I love planning, but I enjoy making to-do lists. I enjoy putting things in my calendar. I enjoy finding new productivity systems and like planning how I'm going to do it and how much is going to increase my productivity. But then I naturally, like, as soon as I have things on my calendar for a certain time, I avoid it at all costs. Has anyone else ever had that problem? Really? I'm not the only one, Marlena.
Look, another human.
And Debbie. I feel so happy that other people also have that problem. I thought I was very, very special.
Well, I think just before we move on to Chris, I see Chris has put up his hand, but before we move on to Chris, that is actually brilliant, because a lot of entrepreneurs have this mindset of we do everything alone. They also have the mindset of, oh, look, I'm the only one in the world that is going through this problem.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, look, nobody else could possibly understand how difficult this is. No, we can understand how difficult this is. And yes, there are people that have been through this. And yes, all you have to do is reach out and have conversations with them. They're right here. Their links are in the description. You might have battled with the same thing in the past. They might have found the solution. Just link up, have a cup of coffee. It's really that simple.
Chris.
I can do the buttons quickly for everybody, but I struggle myself. Anyway, Christine, you answered, I think, your own question there, because you said, how do you manage your energy? But then you said, I was told to take off, and I went for a walk, and I came back all energized and full of ideas and solutions and things. So every single person and individual and business is different, where they're at, what their needs are, where they need to focus their priorities, etc., etc. But something that you have worked out is that's one of the things that works. So when you're sitting there procrastinating, instead of procrastinating for 2 hours, go take that 30-minute walk. When you come back, you're energized, full of ideas and solutions, and then you can tackle the thing. So I think from that side, that's one idea. The other one is Kenton gave me on the coffee shop show, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got is to do the opposite. This just worked with my personality, because I don't know, I'm against the grain sometimes. So if I don't want to do something, instead of saying, I'm not going to do this, I do the opposite. I say, I am going to do this. So that task that I've been putting on hold, because I really don't feel like doing it, but it's got to be done. Instead of saying, I don't want to do it, I say, I want to do it. So it's that opposite, because we do have to do things we don't like. Peter, sorry to say, buddy, at some point you're going to have to make peace with the email story, even though, you know, like at some point. But in between, it's finding ways. And then you made the right point. You actually took a little bit of the wind out of my sail, because I've been listening to what everybody's saying. And there's different approaches that you can take, and different approaches that are right for different people where their businesses are at. But the most important thing that I heard is surround yourself with the right people. So in your case, Peter, you're not good at email, so you surround yourself with a Somerville and an Esteem who keep track of that for you and give you a heads up and nag you or WhatsApp you or whatever. And Esteem, you're good at the planning and the ideas and conceptualization, and you've got an entire tribe of people that you just call up and say, in our case, it was a Sunday afternoon, Chris, I have this idea, we've got to do it now. And then I go, okay, it's a good idea. Let's just strategically think about this and plan it and put it through. But yes, we can do it. So I think that sort of boils down to surround yourself with the right people. And it's one of the quickest ways to scale your business. You're not necessarily, yes, you'll want to outsource and pay people and things like that. But there's also, you build those relationships that you can have those quick calls to and those quick things of, Malena, I'm struggling today. I just need somebody to chat to. Please, can we just have a coffee? And I can go, and I know because we've got a good relationship, she will share some good advice with me and help me. We haven't necessarily exchanged business, but I tell you what, the next time one of my clients or somebody I know goes, I am not doing okay, I've experienced Malena and what she does, and I know what her heart is, and we got that relationship. So then I can confidently go to that person and say, well, you have to go talk to Malena, whatever the case is. So I think it's very important. You don't have to be alone. It's something that always comes out, is surround yourself with the right people.
I like that.
I actually really like that advice, Chris, because that means you just need to get me more people and more money, and then I don't have to do things. I can just plan and dream and visualize.
Yeah, but if we get too productive, I'm going to stop you from walking. That's it.
I love that idea. That's totally where I'll be good. I can come up with all the things that everyone needs to be doing.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, why do you think we have a Somerville story? It didn't magically happen.
Yeah.
People worked hard.
Cool. So guys, you need to join the tribe. We need more people to do stuff. Debbie, over to you. You just need to unmute again, otherwise we're playing charades.
So, yeah, I think what Chris was saying, surround yourself with the right people, is accurate. But I think, Nestine, you and I as accountants, we just suffer with deadline fatigue. Full stop. We are so used to having deadlines in our lives that it is just sometimes overwhelming. And I think when you get to that point, we all have a threshold for anything in our lives, you know, and you've probably reached that threshold, and that's why it's the right time to surround yourself with the right people who can support you, etc., etc. So I get that, because I think as accountants, we get to a point where we definitely have deadline fatigue.
And like deadline trauma, right, Debbie?
Yeah. Debbie, when I first met Nestine, she was working 18-hour days.
Yeah, and that was like a vacation from the previous job that I worked.
Yeah.
Which was terrible.
Also, I mean, as accountants, we kind of leave that, you know, corporate space to run away from that 18, 20-hour day, and then you become an entrepreneur, and then you realize, oh my God, it's just as bad. It's just comes from a different space.
Now it's worse because I'm doing it for myself, so I want to work even harder.
Yes, so you have to find a balance, and you have to, that's why I created my 6 hats, etc., to create balance for myself, and know that when I reach that threshold where I can't cope with the client load anymore, that's the point that I have to get somebody in to help me.
Correct.
Oh, Debbie, I appreciate you so much for recognizing that. Thank you so much. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Well, actually, we can actually look at the results of surrounding yourself with the right people because your list just got too big. And if we look at all the people that are in our space and we look at where we were and where we are now,
My list has shrunk
your list has shrunk
a lot,
a lot,
like 75%.
a lot. Yeah.
So you guys, I want to hear from Daniel, but I just quickly want to tell you what I do now, just to make sure that my list does not become manageable. Because what will I do with my life if my list is actually manageable? I steal our virtual assistant's work. Like I only figured unconsciously, I only figured out last week that I actually do this. But we outsource something to Somerville. We outsourced our dating the trial process to Somerville, and we went through explaining, and this is how you do it, and this is how you do it. And for some reason, I just ignored everything else on my list, and I just started doing that. And I was like,
why? Why do you do this?
And then I'm like, I don't have time for everything. I'm not getting through everything. And then I had to look, and I was like, yes, that's because technically. But then in my head, I'm like, but technically, if I do it, I save money. So then or if I do it, maybe Somerville's busy, or maybe I now all of a sudden I like doing that more.
Which is all a load of crap because we all know that Somerville is on it.
So I don't know. Maybe it's also fear of the unknown of what actually happens if I have a manageable to-do list. It's interesting, hey? Daniel, I'm super keen to hear from you because I know you work with a lot of giant projects, big pieces of writing, books, that must be super stressful. How do you manage it? How do you prioritize your tasks?
Okay, thank you so much, Nestine and Peter. Here's how I do. My theory, my philosophy of time management or prioritization of the activities in my projects is derived from the Pareto law or 80-20 principle. There's a book by Robert Koch that talks about the Pareto law. What it basically says is that 80% of the results is a result of 20% of the efforts. That's number one. Then number two is not dissimilar really, it's from project management. In project management, they talk about the critical path method. If I do the activities that are on the critical path method, I increase the chances for scoring on the deliverables of the project. That include among others project quality, which means that the project has been delivered on time and as expected, and of course a host of other deliverables. So those are my fundamental philosophies that I've embraced. The other one is the concept of energy management. This one, it needs a coaching lesson, but basically what I do is that I understand my strengths, understand what turns me on. For example, I love motivation and inspiration. So if I want to take my energy levels higher, I compose a song or think of an inspirational speech or a motivational speech. When I think of that, I kind of gain that energy, and I kind of mobilize that energy to help me in my in my goals, in my priorities, and basically that's how I do it. I won't elaborate further due to brevity, but what else? I'm a professional ghostwriter for professionals, and thank you so much.
I appreciate that so much, Daniel. Thank you for sharing.
I like that.
I love the 80-20% rule. I think it's one of the reasons why we've been so successful, because we're like manic about focusing on the things that are actually going to produce results, as opposed to just being busy for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I don't like being busy for no reason. I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't like being busy at all.
At the same time, like Izan also said, like, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. So I literally take the 80-20 rule to a whole nother level. Actually, the more I think of it, Marlena, I actually just need to talk to you. I have so many issues. I will get like manic about making sure that I only focus on tasks that are going to produce massive leveraged results. Which again means that if I'm doing something like invoicing or reading emails, I want to like die, because like I'm not producing results. I'm just doing like admin. But I don't know, Marlena, is there something that you can say to me?
Yeah, we know there is.
There is. If you don't mind, I'll say it now, if that's okay.
Yes, please go for it.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is that when things feed your soul, you're definitely in it, and you'll make it happen. When things don't feed your soul, it's like, ugh. So there's your answer. You have people around you, and Chris mentioned it earlier, you already have people around you to do those things that detract you from your core. When you go out walking, you can find out the ideas and come back and implement them through others, so that you can continue finding ways to find new ideas, because it sounds like that is your forte from what I can understand. So maybe we should have a coffee so I can help you channel that a little bit more.
That'll be amazing. Thank you so much, Marlena. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you beautiful people being here, being actual real humans, vulnerable, sharing your stuff and what you're doing and your battles. And I think it makes all of us just feel a lot less alone. So that's awesome. Chris says, haha, so Peter, you can do 20% emails. And that's funny.
Nice try. Nice try.
Guys, if you're watching us on the Coffee Shop Show on YouTube or Facebook, we just want to thank you so much for being here with us today. We want to thank all of our guests. Thank you for spending an hour with us, just having a coffee and connecting with entrepreneurs around the world. Remember, all of these beautiful humans, if you resonate with any of them, which like if you don't, like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, they're amazing. Just go to the description below, click on the LinkedIn link, and just connect, have some coffees. They're beautiful humans. Like, you've heard like how much like experience and valuable advice they have.
Well, I mean, just remember that a LinkedIn link is exactly that. It's just a link. But remember that on the other end of that link is a real person with a real skill set, with a real character, and one that you can easily click on a link and go, hey, I'm over here. Can we have a cup of coffee? Nobody is out of anybody's league. We are all equal. So I don't care if you're flying high or whether you're battling, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. These people are reachable. Their links are right there. They want to have coffee with you. Click on the link. It's so simple.
Just do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't make a list about it. Just do it.
Do it.
Also, just before we go, massive shout out to Joanne Morehouse from Virtual Photography.
Ooh.
With Joanne. She has, we awarded her a photography headshot prize the week before last with the spinning wheel and everything. And Janine is getting a full virtual headshot. Lucky Janine. But she actually dropped into the Facebook group. So if you join our Facebook group, Chris, do you want to show us how to join the Facebook group? So if you join our Facebook group, then literally the coupon code is in there, and she's posted a special link where every single person that is part of the Facebook group gets 10% off just because you're on the group and doing the good work of helping entrepreneurs out there. So
she's such a sweetheart.
She's so awesome. She's really cool, and her work is amazing. So that's where the Facebook group is. So if you click onto the group, this is what's going to happen, depending on how fast your internet is. But this is the group. So So if you join the group and like one of the very first posts has the coupon code in it. So if you want to get yourself some virtual photography with Joanne, she is incredible.
Oh yeah, she's phenomenal.
And she's given a coupon code to every single person that's in the group. So thank you, Joanne. You're amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Awesome producer. Guys, remember to connect with these beautiful humans. Their descriptions are in their links are in the description below. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Next week, we also have a wheel again because we'll be awarding the case study prize. Thank you so much for being here with us, and I hope that this conversation carries you through the rest of the week.
I also hope it highlights that you don't have to go through the journey alone.
Yeah, just connect
Seriously,
with each
just
other.
connect with people.
Help each other, support each other. We can do this together. Entrepreneurs rule the world. Woohoo! Guys, until next time, may all your wildest entrepreneurial